Hey art class, I wanted to take a second to just show you some different perspective drawings as you're practicing and some fun things that you could go ahead and you could, incorporate into your different perspective work, and just like some things to think about. So you can see the vanishing point is kind of like right there. Vanishing point is right here. And notice that most of these perspective drawings, like, are kind of like in this triangle shape, right? And yours doesn't have to be, but a lot of them are. And a common thing is like a sidewalk, or you could add different textures like wood at the side of your buildings with different blending. But you'll notice that all of these lines right here, sorry, I should zoom in. All of these lines go to the vanishing point. And you can really all do this because it just takes some practice and takes some figuring out. So what we're doing is we're kind of brainstorming what we want to try in class. So this is like some wood texture. And you can see that if it's the right side of the building, this is the right side of this house, it's going to the right vanishing point. So even this brick, like on the top of the building, is going to the right vanishing point. Now, obviously, we have a lot of vertical lines. So I was doing purple for vertical lines in the other video. So usually, like, those most important vertical lines are the ones that are the corner, that are kind of coming out. So vertical lines. And notice how they're all parallel, right? They're 90 degrees from the horizon line and they're parallel. So there are just so many, my goodness, right? So in the previous video, we were talking about how a lot of the lines were kind of lopsided, right? So that's kind of something new to think about. And then if you wanted to do, I think it would be kind of fun for us to try to, in class, build a house, like, do this kind of roof shape and, figure that out as a class. So kind of think about whether or not you're going to want to try to do something like that. Or you could kind of try to do it in your journal. But I am imagining if you have a tip, like the edge of a building, you make a box and then you make like the box and then you give it a top and then you just kind of connect the top like so. And then the vanishing point for those bricks. And then for these bricks at the side, vanishing point, all going to that vanishing point. As far as the mountains and stuff, notice that the mountains really aren't in perspective, right? They're really not. So you can kind of fill in a background, right? But most of the things do go to the vanishing point. So just a couple of things to think about. Other cool things. I mean, there's so many fun things to do. These are all practice, right? But just think about all these hilarious things that you guys could kind of do with this project. I mean, here we have a crazy octopus attacking a bunch of buildings, right? Talk about form, So that's like a big sphere with a light source, and with light shading, you could do something fun like that. And what you really want to do is you want to use art as like a chance to escape, everything that's going on. But there are a lot of challenges too. Like this is super cool. It is exactly what we were doing in class, right? But let's see, what are the differences between what we were doing in class and this? Okay, so you'll notice that the vanishing points are kind of like a little closer. So here's a vanishing point, here's a vanishing point. And we have more space. Because the vanishing points are closer together, we have more space for stuff on the other side. So you can kind of have an opposite side of the street. Right? And then we kind of have this bridge coming down here. Right? So this is something we could potentially, try to draw in class. if you were to draw something like a, tunnel, right here, you would actually use the opposite vanishing point, right? And then that guiding line, you're going to go there, right? So you're going to go there, you're going to go there, and you just kind of make your O, right? So you decide, okay, this is going to be the beginning of my tunnel, this is where my tunnel is going to end, this is going to be the midpoint. And then you use this vanishing point, the vanishing point 1, VP1, to go ahead and be that street that it's going into, right? So you can see if we do opposite, like vanishing point 1, like you use, like it impacts things on the other side of the building. Like, so kind of pay attention to the patterns, right? So this is all vanishing point 1, all of these lines, all of that. All of this right here is vanishing point 1. Lines, 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 lines. So you guys can totally do something like this. It just kind of takes a lot of passion, like patience and passion, And you got to remember to rotate that ruler. So here we go. Vanishing point 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Right, so this is really a great exercise. So a lot can be done when you're separating, when you have the vanishing points sort of close together. And we can't see because of his hand, but you can see this side right here is using this vanishing point. So left sides of buildings, left vanishing point. Right sides of buildings, right vanishing point. And you can have like cool shiny effects on the side of the building. Notice how important the different values are, right? We can tell right away where the light source is coming from, right? What side is the light source coming from? Well, it's coming from this side and it's hitting all of the buildings because the left side is the shiny side, whereas the right side is kind of in shadows. So even over here, it's hitting over here. And then why does it look, look at all of these vertical lines. All parallel. So it just takes a lot of practice. And what I would do is I would just throughout the weekend, I would just keep practicing. Like this one street that goes in. This is all going to this vanishing point. Interesting, we got a bridge on one side, bridge. Right, this street is going to that vanishing point. So you could do a whole city. You could do little boxes in the middle. So it really requires just drawing a lot of lines that are kind of going out. And if you want to get the bottom of this bridge right here, it's actually going all the way to that vanishing point. And then you kind of decide the dot, and then that's where I'm going to go. And then, yeah, it's just about staying consistent and following the rules. It really is an exercise in consistency. Dot, follow. Dot, follow. And you have a base. This is my river, right? And the bottom of the bridge is at this angle. So this is crazy hard, but this is just kind of something to think about. Also check out those trees. Okay, so done with that. I don't want to take too much time in a video because then you won't lose it or you won't watch it. But one more thing that I kind of want to point out is as we're kind of moving forward, I want you to think about metaphors. Okay, so there are a lot of metaphors in this piece that are saying something about how this artist sees America. A lot. And I want you to kind of write about that and think about that. Do we have drug problems? Do we have gambling problems? The helicopter, being blinded by money, obsession over Hollywood, the palm trees, the dead trees, the police. Okay, there are just so many metaphors that we could kind of come up with. And as we're going forward, I want you to say something kind of really powerful about how you feel about America. Okay, so so those are our metaphors. And as far as other things, I mean, also just have fun. Like, you know, you could return to one point and just have fun with it. Like this would be a really great extra piece to do. You can see all of these lines are going to a 1 point perspective, right? So this would be kind of like a fun project to do with the circles in the background with the painting. So that might be something to consider as a visual journal page. And they're just, you know, I mean, these are just gorgeous. And these are, I mean, I could talk all day really about art. And the question is, will you listen? But you could see we have vanishing point right there, right? And it's kind of more curvy. And once you know the rules of perspective, you can really kind of recognize the vanishing points in our world and use it to your advantage, and you can start to break some of the rules. But it takes a lot of study. So I really, really hope you guys have fun doing this. I hope it brings you peace, and I hope it's not stressing you out. Real quick, just notice that all of the vertical lines that are parallel, and they are perpendicular to the horizon line, right? The horizon line's right there. We got a million vertical lines. They're a little bendy, but it's just such a great painting. So once you know those rules, you can break them and you could just really, really do some awesome work. Okay, guys, good luck.